Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. My name's Donnie Reese, and tonight we record episode 196, 198, 2005?
197.
Something like that.
Whoa.
Tonight's episode is titled Toadette Hits the Links. We'll get into all the reasons why. Before we do our little chit-chat, I'd like to thank those that support us over at patreon.com/PSVG. So thank you, Michael Masick, Edwin Callow, Stephen Keller, Nick Creature, Ben Moxham, Nick Fallhaber, Paul Calico, Kyle Hyman, Devin Tyus, Josh, The Bonesaw, Borboni, R.J. Kern, Horse Girl 69,
Nice.
Zach Adams, and Joe Wilson. I'm here with Rebecca and Garrett. What's up,
Hello.
you guys? I am particularly spry. I'm in a pretty good mood today.
Good.
And it's interesting, and I wanted to talk about this before we get into games, because I like starting podcasts this way. I didn't listen to any podcasts today or yesterday. I've been like on a music kick.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
I feel like I've noticed like a uptick in just general demeanor.
It's just the mood.
Yeah.
Good.
I feel
Is
like
it your
I'm,
music,
I'm
your
not
favorite music?
so analytical, and I'm wondering, like, is it the music or is it not the podcast?
Maybe you're just not thinking as much with the podcast
Yes.
going around, floating around
Like
in your
I was
head.
just kind of jamming.
I get it.
was doing my music. I had a lot of work to do today. So like
Yeah.
my head was down and I worked all day, but I was doing it like with tunes and I was singing. I was kind of rolling in my chair, kind of rolling back
Your
over
mind
here.
was more relaxed.
I think
Yeah.
so.
You know, not where it normally is.
I'm
You were
wondering
able
if I need
relax
to
a
listen to
little bit.
less podcasts.
I think so. I think I should do that too.
But it's so hard.
It's a little too much.
But it's like I love
There's-
them, but I
There's
feel
so
like
many good ones.
I feel
right?
like I love them. It's like my favorite hobbies. I
Yeah.
love podcasting. That's why I do this. But I feel like there
Mm-hmm.
are these times where it's like I binge too, like it goes too far. It's like I
Yes.
need some moderation. It's like I do too much, and I don't know. Like I feel like it gets me kind of combative or kind of angsty. It makes me argumentative. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can almost feel it, like just in my demeanor. It's like let's argue about it. Like not in a
Yeah,
like a
that's
negative
not
way,
good.
but like
just,
just
have a conversation.
yeah,
Right? You know?
I do that.
I get you.
Yeah.
Or today I was like, man, I feel great. I just noticed
Good.
I was like, I feel really good. I might take
Good.
like a week or maybe a weekend. I'll see. Try that. The weekend off of podcast. See how I feel on Monday.
Sounds good.
How are you guys?
Doing just fine. Busy
Yeah.
bee. I want to graduate in December, you know, and
course.
it's like crunch time for video game devs for me right now. It's to the bitter end. I want to finish my work, so
I mean,
gotta get stuff done.
I know that every job is different, and I by no
Yeah.
means mean to demean video game crunch. It's all by all accounts not cool. You don't have to do it, but
Right.
as somebody who does develop like code and stuff, the thing that I've always said about it is I think everybody's job probably has some level of crunch, because everybody's job has deadlines. And usually when you get dealt with a really hard deadline, like there is no option. Like, the
Right.
option isn't to just delay it. Some things you just can't delay.
Yeah.
You
know,
gotta
like-
finish
Even
it.
if
yeah.
it's not true all the time, I feel like every job has aspects of that at times.
Yeah, absolutely. I always recall, like when I was working for Super Bowl, I was knee deep in it, like just all kinds of, and like there is no delay. The Super
Yeah.
Bowl will kick off. Like the game
Not
will
gonna
happen.
delay if you're running late on something.
Exactly. So yeah, we've been there. Oh well, hang in there, Garrett.
Only a few more months, 4 more months, really.
What do
just
you
to-
do to deal with it?
I need to just get away from it sometimes. Sometimes I get very obsessive with the work, but I really do need like small breaks here and there. I gotta time my work and experiments right as well. So schedule them during the day, make sure that it's like in a timely fashion, because I can easily work for like 13 hours in a day just to doing various things. The thing is, there's tasks I need to do and it's never done. That's just how it is. So Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
always
Just-
the same at my job too. Like you finally finish something and then there's 3 more things that you have to do. It never ever ends.
right.
Yeah,
So
definitely. No, I think when I was in college, I was experiencing a lot of that because I was working while I was in college, and I think I
Yeah.
started drinking more, and I just kept
coping with it.
yeah, I just kept doing it.
I recently stopped drinking just because once I take a drink, I am so freaking tired. Like I'm so sleepy. I want to take a nap forever
wife's that
once
way.
I have one beer.
She's
And
one drink
now-
and then she's in the bed in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So when we
I
go
wish I
out
wasn't.
when we go out to have fun, it's like don't drink. You can't drink. I'll have to take you home. Like,
Aw.
that's a
So
thing.
yeah. Other than that, I'm doing good.
How about you, Bex?
Pretty good. Preparing for some exciting things that are coming up, but not really anything else
Ooh.
too interesting. Kind of taking it easy, being off for the summer. Had to get called into work on Monday. Normally, I'm off for the summer. There was like an accident, a tragedy where unfortunately a staff member at our school district passed away. Not to
Oh,
get
wow.
too depressing, but I had to go in for like emergency counseling, and it was this whole big thing, and that was kind of a bummer at the beginning of the week. It was just a really whole like sad thing.
Somber.
Really unfortunate situation all around. But the week went on, and I'm looking forward to things. So I'm enjoying the rest of my time off.
Okay. How about your school? Is it? I don't think I ever asked you. You work in a new school, or is it the same school?
So I'm still in the same school district.
Okay.
Next year I'll be at a different elementary school.
Are you guys?
So-
Oh, okay.
Are you guys
Kinda
masking up
shifting
there?
around a little bit. The last thing that we heard is that it's going to be optional for staff and kids. Now that was like mid-July. I don't know if that's going to be changed since the CDC came out with other recommendations. Our superintendent has been pretty good about it last year. Not perfect, but pretty good. So I'm hoping that that there's
Maybe.
a different recommendation just because the kids aren't vaccinated.
Our
you know?
folks, they reaffirmed that it's optional and they open tomorrow.
Oh
That's
no, we don't
insane.
open until the end of August. So we start a lot later than you. Yeah.
Good luck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Godspeed.
how to explain it. Yeah.
Get a
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
get,
I
like,
will
wear like knight's armor, just a full coat.
A hazmat suit.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah,
I-
pepper.
yeah. I'll give you some
Yeah.
lab coats.
That works.
depending on how things are in a month from now, I probably will wear it when I'm like around kids and groups and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll see what it's like in a month.
I just
Maybe they'll change their minds. I don't know.
I am by no means an epidemiologist. I'm not Nintendo. But
You're not Nintendo.
I'm not Nintendo, but I talk to our folks every day, and we had a call earlier, and I brought this up. I was like, if it's optional, if it's by any means like not forced, then it doesn't matter. Like if you're
It
walking
doesn't
into a
matter
school,
anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
it's over. Like the amount of times those kids are within 2 feet of each other, breathing in each other's faces, and walking and touching, and it's done.
Even when it was
done, yeah.
mandated, it was still spreading. Like we still had
Yeah,
cases
of
every
course.
single week, even
Yeah.
with mandated masks. So
And like the flu is, I'm not sure if people are not noticing that, but the flu is steadily like popping up now.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't for like 18 months. It's been almost a miracle that the flu has been as low as it has, and here it comes.
Right.
It's like
I don't
if
want
you-
the flu either.
Yeah.
I don't even want a cold. Like stay away
I don't
from
want-
me.
Oh no!
No sickness.
Oh no! Godspeed, Rebecca.
But yeah, that's okay. I have a month until I have to worry about that. I'm going on a couple trips coming up
Yeah.
before then, which I will be mastering during the trips. So I'm
Nice.
excited about those.
Oh.
Solid. Solid.
Yeah.
And what we're playing, I'll start first. I was playing Oxenfree, and I was having a blast.
Oh.
I looked it up because I remembered that I remembered playing it last time. I think it was you, Rebecca. Somebody told me my ending wasn't the good ending or the same ending. I don't know. I remembered somebody being like, that wasn't the ending. I don't remember why, but I remember that being a thing. So I looked it up. I was like, all right, I'm going to get a guide, and I'm going to do the ending, which made me realize, and this is shameful on my part for not knowing you better, how many endings this game has. I don't know them all.
There are.
I don't
Yeah.
know them all because I didn't click into them and read them, but there's like 9. There's like a bunch.
Oh, wow.
There was just a list of links in this guide I was looking at. I was like, oh, man. So I was going to pick one and try to do that. And then my gaming PC came, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. playing Dying Light, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get back to it. Like,
Oh man.
like it absolutely. Like I got Dying Light, and it was so good that I was like, I kind of want to play all of Dying Light all over again, and I just kept playing that. So I stopped playing Oxenfree, and I was gonna play Breath of the Wild. I was like, all right, I'll just do Zelda. I'll do Zelda. And then we saw the hands-on impressions from the UK folks that got hands-on with the OLED.
Oh, the OLED, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Mr. VGC over there wrote that little snippet, if you haven't seen it being shared around Reddit and Reset Era, saying that it was a night and day difference, that Breath of the Wild was shockingly better on the OLED. And I was like, well, if I'm going to replay it, maybe I should wait.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, let's be real. You could play some of it now, and then once you get the OLED, jump into it again. You probably have the time before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
Maybe. But you could just also play Dying Light on your beautiful
no,
That's true.
laptop.
Dying
That's
Light's a
true.
thing. Like, this is really happening
Yeah.
to me. I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm having a blast. I stayed up way
Good.
too late the night before last playing. I was just...
That game is awesome.
I was
man.
embarrassed by myself, but I love that game. Which has me thinking, okay, so Oxenfree 2 delayed. That's
I
the
was
news.
going to say, you might as well wait to play Oxenfree now.
Exactly.
Number-
So I've got
number
some
2 not
time.
coming out soon.
No More Heroes
Okay.
is coming. So
Yes.
this by no means means like I'm not going to play like right now, although I might play this weekend. But I'm not going to like rush it. Maybe Wind Waker. I've been wanting to play it for so long. Maybe now's the time. I've got a few
Okay.
weeks.
So there's not going to be a remake on the Switch anytime soon.
Like, I'll push Breath of the Wild off just a little bit longer. I'll get Metroid Dread and I'll do that, and maybe I'll do Breath of the Wild in like January or December.
Okay.
Because I want to play something like... I mean, I'm getting the OLED first and foremost for Metroid. Like, Samus has that glowy light, and it's going to look awesome on the OLED. But the Breath of the Wild stuff really got me... Did you guys check in on any of that? Did you see that article or anything like that?
I read a few lines about how
Dude.
it's 9-day difference.
The
but
people on Reddit are
Yeah.
pissed.
really,
They were
why?
So mad.
Reddit? Oh my god, I can't.
Yeah,
What were
like
they
this
mad
is like
about?
Rebecca's worst nightmare.
Ugh.
They were
They're
like,
always mad.
they were like, this is impossible. It's the same resolution, it's the same frame rate, it's the same game. It cannot possibly look that good. And Garrett, you and
Do
I,
they know how to? Even I'm not that like skeptical and
Of course.
delusioned that like.
Of course.
Garrett and I have been saying this for what, 18 months? Like the OLED's
Yeah.
gonna look awesome.
It's gonna look.
It's gonna look
Beautiful.
awesome. For all the people that are like, it's not a big enough upgrade.
They're just
Wait till you
angry
see
because
it.
they don't want to upgrade.
Wait till you see
It's
it. Wait
not
till
what
you
they
see it
wanted.
side by
Yeah.
side. And then I think a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it looks a lot better.
I want to see that. I want to be convinced.
Yeah, like
I wanna
Streets
see
of
that new
Rage
screen.
is gonna look like Katana Zero would just
Yeah.
look awesome on the OLED. Just so damn good. Sayonara Wild
Luigi's
Hearts.
Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astral
It's gonna
Chain.
look good. Astral Chain, man. On OLED.
Bayonetta. Like
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta 2 again.
Yeah.
That might be OLED. Might just be me replaying the first 2 years of Switch over.
It's like just everything.
It's just like I got to redo it now because they've made it better. So now I've got to a level up. So anyway, I played. I think I was like halfway through Oxenfree. I had a full go at it like on Friday night. I was playing. I was like, this is great. I want to play it. And then Dying Light took over my world. So that's me. I haven't played much. I will tell you, I did spend about 10, 15 minutes like scrolling through the eShop. I was just like, just buy something. Like, let's just find something to buy. Couldn't
okay.
find anything.
You
Couldn't
couldn't
find
find
a
it, yeah.
damn thing. Not one thing.
That store's abysmal.
Well, it wasn't the store. It just,
You just couldn't find a game.
I feel like, so I have a wish list. My wish list has 30 games on it. None of them are on sale.
Yeah.
And I feel like I own everything that I want to own on Switch. Like, I have
have
it
a
all.
lot of games.
Like, it's like I have it all. I've done it. It's like I need, especially like with Death's Door and stuff like that, like all those indie games that are having cross support, like they're not showing up, like there,
Nope.
or I already have them on Game Pass or I bought them somewhere else. So like now I'm really, we've been saying this, I bought this PC, and stuff like that. It's like I'm feeling the squeeze of like leaning heavier on my Switch from Nintendo stuff.
Okay.
And it's like I need more of
Well,
that to come.
There's going to be a burst of it pretty soon.
This
Maybe
fall
another
is good.
month and it'll
I'm
be,
starting to feel
it'll
it.
be
I'm
here.
starting to
So
feel it. I'm
going.
like, all right, we
Yeah.
need the games, Nintendo. Let's get cranking. So
They're coming.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Becca, what you been playing?
So I haven't dived super deep into it yet, but I checked out the new Pokemon Snap update.
Cool.
with the new courses. So I've tried each of the 3 new areas once. I haven't unlocked the night cycles for them yet, so I haven't found everything there is to find yet. I'm kind of taking my time with it because I feel like since I reviewed the game, I really rushed through when I played it, and like kind of found everything that there was to find so quickly. So I'm trying to take this update the opposite manner, where I'm just going to pick it up when I feel like it. So I did each of the new courses once, and I'm glad that this is free. I wish that they had done like 3 times this amount of content, and like I wouldn't care if they paid for it, but I'm so glad that they didn't make us pay like even a couple bucks for this, because this feels like it is a free update. But I'm glad that they did it. It shows that they're supporting it. It feels like they still could add some more stuff later, which would be even great. I like the free approach, obviously. I would much rather have a little bit to come, back to for free than have to pay for it. But the new areas are really cool. I like them. The first one that I tried was the river jungle. It really reminded me a lot of the original game's river. It had a lot of like similar aspects to the jungle because it's on the same island as the jungle course in this game. So it did seem too similar to that. I wish they had varied it up a little bit more. There's a lot of overlapping Pokemon too that are in the jungle course. So you're really only finding like 5 or 6 new Pokemon there. But it was cool to go back to, and maybe there will be different stuff at night. Like I said, I didn't dive deeper into all of it yet. I really liked the Badlands area though. I thought that one was way different. It was much different than the desert that's in it. Really cool. I can tell that they have added more of the secrets that we missed from the original game into these. And like I haven't found out how to do everything yet. I'm going to try to not look it up. I'm going to try to figure it out myself. But there's like geysers that shoot up, and like you can figure out how to like tumble this giant rock into the geyser to make it blow up somewhere else. Like there's more secrets here. There's also almost like a storytelling aspect of it. Like you can kind of there's like a Tepig, a Torchic, and like some other Pokemon that kind of follow you throughout the course, and you can interact with them in different ways. And like you can get the Tepig to go in like Kangaskhan's pouch and things like that. Like
that's
there's
cute.
just so many cute ways. Like I feel like those are the secrets that we missed from the original game that they're adding back a little bit more. So I'm excited to keep exploring that and find out what all of those are. And then the last area was the one where it shrinks you down. This one was a little bit different because you can't just select that course. It's part of that first nature course that you start the game with. You have to actually find this course within that course. You have to like scan a certain tree or something, and that's how you find it. And it shrinks you down, and then it brings you to that new course. That one probably is my least favorite of the 3 because it's just like everything's bigger.
Sure.
There's not really anything like there's new Pokemon in it, but I don't know. It's not.
Are they just all big? Like there's no like. That's rough.
Yeah. So like it's cool to see like there's towering mushrooms over you and stuff.
It's like the Super Mario 3 thing.
It was the one that I felt least like I wanted to play over and over again to find new things. I'm sure that there are secrets hidden in it. There's a big Bidoof butt that was pretty funny. But yeah, I kind of like this approach, just to like kind of get me back into the game, like 1, 2, 3 times to check it out and mess around with it a little bit. So my impressions of it are good. I'm glad it's free. I wouldn't have wanted to pay for it.
That's good.
Are either of you gonna check out the DLC or anything? You didn't care. You don't have the game, right?
No. Yeah. I don't plan on getting it probably until I don't know. We'll see.
I'm glad that they're updating it though.
Yes.
I don't know if at this point I don't know if I really just like the original Pokemon Snap, or if they just dropped the ball with the second one. I don't know the answer to that question. I kind of just want like them to remake the original Snap. After so many years of wanting another Snap, they gave it to us, and I was like, this is not what I want at all.
It would be cool if at some point they remade the original levels and added that as free DLC to this.
That would get me in.
I think that'd
be really cool.
Yeah.
That would get me in.
And like maybe they add some more Pokemon to it, like maybe other generation Pokemon to it, just to like kind of keep it interesting or something. But
I legit want the first game remastered. I want Professor Oak and everything, just the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's no way they could sell that game on its own though. It's just too short. It's
I'll
too
give them
simple,
$60
I think,
for
for today's
Nintendo.
days.
Listen to me,
I know
Pokemon
we
Company.
would.
Yeah.
We would.
I will.
Some people would. But yeah, I think if you own the game and you liked it, check out. I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You
More
know,
levels,
worth jumping
it's
into it. It's
free.
free.
You might as well.
Awesome.
Even just to go through the courses once or twice, you'll have a good time with it. The only other thing that I have been playing this week is the Minish Cap. I've been practicing it a lot because next week, if you don't mind me giving a little plug here, is Zelda Universe's Z-Youthon, that they are playing games for a week-long marathon and raising money for charity, and I was invited as a guest to play games there with
Miss
them.
Minish Cap.
So,
Oh, that's so cool.
so I'm flying out and I'm going to be there in person with some really cool people.
That's awesome.
And I'm going to be playing the Minish Cap on Saturday, August 14th at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And throughout the whole weekend or the week-long marathon, if we raise at least $2,000, I will be playing A Link to the Past randomizer with crowd control, meaning that people can mess with my game in real time. You can make me play with ice physics for 30 seconds or make it so that I die in one hit for a minute, or maybe you want to help me and you want to give me a bottle full of fairies or anything like that. So that's what I'll be doing next week, and I'll be sure to plug all of that in the appropriate places. But I have been practicing the Minish Cap so that I don't embarrass myself.
Is it a speed run? Like, are you gonna try to go as fast as you can through this game?
So I'm gonna beat the game in one sitting, and I have about a 6-hour window to do that, so it's gonna be somewhat of a speed run.
Okay.
But that's about how long I can. I mean, I'm familiar with the game, so
Yeah.
I've been practicing, so that will be fun.
That's really cool.
Well, Koopalings, make sure that you follow Rebecca, sign up for those alerts or whatever, and make sure that you show up, support the kids.
Yeah. It will be on the Zelda Universe Twitch channel, which is Zelda Universe TV.
Yeah, awesome outlet. You should be following it anyway. Garrett,
Good people over there.
what have you been up to, dude?
Same old, man. Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Yeah.
I'm still at it, just chugging away little by little. I'm about 27-ish hours in. So I probably by next week I'll be done with it. They say it's around 30, 35 hours, and I'm on the last area. It's clearly segmented. It's like, this is the last area you're going to be in. And it's like, the story's going to wrap up and all that good stuff. And I'm just going to echo what I said last week. Once you play the first, I would say 10 hours of this game, you've seen it all, really, unless you really want to go into the story more or whatever. You'll find more monsters, you'll find more of whatever, but the combat, the gameplay is just strictly the same thing. The bosses don't really do too much outside of that combat. It's not really that deep. It's not that unique other than those first 10 hours. So that's my impressions of it. If you are a Monster Hunter fan and you're a turn-based fan, of course, grab this game. And I see it on sale. It's going to be on sale pretty soon, I assume, on PC as well. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's just I want to wrap it up now. It's like, okay, ready to get done with this game, for sure. So I've been playing that. I've also been playing Final Fantasy VII Classic on the Nintendo Switch.
Wow.
It's probably the best place to play handheld wise. Just because you get the new not remastered, but the new features. You can fast forward battles, and then you can also be invincible in
It's like
some
the mobile
aspects.
version, right?
It is the mobile version, ported over to the PS4 and Switch version or whatever. I wanted to get done by this weekend because we're going to record the Final Fantasy VII RPG Cave episode. But I'm not, just because I don't want to force it, you get into a game and you play for like an hour or two. It's like, I'm not really into this, and I don't want to spoil my experience just because I'm forcing to play it. So I'm just taking my time with it. I'm sitting down with it probably like an hour or so and just going through it little by little. If I'm not sure what I'm doing, I just look up a walkthrough, see what I need to do. It definitely shows its age for the PS1 game. I can tell it shows its age, but I really enjoy the story so far. So
Well, that's good.
I'm outside of it. Yeah. I'm outside of Midgar, so I'm a good chunk in. It's just once I got outside of Midgard, I'm just so disinterested in the game. It's so flat and
That's why you
bland.
can do the RPGs that I can't, because when I feel
Yeah.
like that, when I'm just not into a game, I just stop playing.
Yeah.
I have the hardest time being like, just get over this hump, get through. I'm just like, no, I'll just go play something else. It's like I think that's why
Then
the
it's
RPGs and
looming
stuff.
over you, and that's how you get a backlog.
Yeah.
Well, I already have a backlog, so
Yeah.
I love it. He's like, I'm not really into it, but I'm going to keep doing it. Just, a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely some patience with that. I mean, I am enjoying the story bits. That's what's keep me going so far.
Sure.
Final Fantasy VII. So, yeah, going through that. And then I actually picked up my 3DS a little bit. I've been playing a little bit during lunch break.
Got that
and
Mario Golf, got
on the
that
weekends.
lunch club in, didn't you?
Yeah, I got my Mario Golf round. I just noticed, I'm like, crap, I haven't done my round yet. And it's like, okay, got to plug it in. Did it today, just one round. Not a great score, but I'm not a good golfer, so
I think it probably expires tomorrow.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I
something
did
like
it
that.
I did it the day after Shaq, like 2 weeks ago, so it probably expires tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. So did that round, and also been playing Shin Megami Tensei 4 to help prepare myself for the fifth one coming in
Ooh.
later this year. It is a
Keep
tough
forgetting
game.
that game is coming this year. It's a big
Yeah.
game that I'm not even thinking about.
It's a week apart from Pokemon, so I don't know how I'm gonna
boy.
do this.
It's a lot.
I pre-ordered my Shin Megami Tensei game, and we'll see about Pokemon. I'll definitely will play both, but just when
I feel you.
will I have time?
Metroid,
I don't know.
the OLED Metroid and Far Cry 5 all come out same weekend.
Oh goodness.
I'm like, what
Isn't
am
there
I
something else that
supposed
comes
to
out
do?
right around then? There's something
Wait,
else
was
that
it?
comes out too.
There's so
There's
many.
a
so
lot
many
packed
things.
in that whole month.
Yeah. We're about to get on a ride here for 4 months where there's going to be a pretty significant game coming out every week on at least one console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Switch is filling up my holidays. With that, and Advance Wars comes out a few weeks later than Pokemon. I'm pretty much done with Switch. But yeah, Shin Megami Tensei 4 it's fun. I think it's a little bit better in terms of the strategy and turn-based combat than most other JRPGs. So I'm just going along with it. I'm not gonna finish it. I'm just playing a little bit to get acclimated back into that type of game. It is very difficult. So I'm trying to just condition myself for the fifth game.
How many people were on the leaderboard for the golf tournament?
I couldn't figure that out. I just
okay.
went in and just played
posted.
my round.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out if we're going to keep it going or not. We've done, this would be the second or third one since we started it. And when I posted my round, there were 3. And I was like, if there's just going to be 3 folks, we're going to stop doing it. So we'll see. We'll see how many people showed up. I'll check it tomorrow. Cool. Well, this week into Nintendo, they kicked off, this is nice because we really didn't have anything. This is a very light news week, but we got some news today. Honestly, if this news didn't come today, I don't know what we were talking about on this show. Let's start with Nintendo's earnings report, April through June. Switch is now at 89.4 million units, passing the Xbox 360 and the PS3. This is in light of hardware being overall down 21% and software decreased 10%, bringing revenue down 9% year over year with this new quarter. I thought this was very interesting, and I'm really glad that you posted this, Garrett. Regular Switch outsold the Lite 3-1 during the quarter. Regular Switch is up year over year from last year, but in life to date, the original Switch 73 million, the Switch Lite 15. It's significantly lower.
It's really low.
Very, significantly lower, much lower than I would have ever guessed, just off the price alone. And I don't know if there's anything we can extrapolate from that. Nintendo did say this quarter that they expected the Lite to be down due to availability. Apparently, they just didn't manufacture as much, but that has nothing to do with this number. 70 to 15 is a wide margin, and it's not. And I know the Switch had a head start. I would honestly, you could take 40 million off the top, and it's still a wide margin. It's still more than it's a lot. Which is interesting because do you think that means that the Lite doesn't have as targeted an audience?
I think a lot of Lite owners also have a regular Switch.
Hmm.
It seems to me, I don't know if that's just our bubble that we see that a lot. I don't really see too many people with just a light. I'm sure that the light is a lot more attractive for like kids and
That's
things
what I
like
was
that.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like people don't. You guys have your OG systems, and then you have the light too. It's more of a supplementary.
I've
Like
had a couple
here's,
lights.
you know,
and
when I'm trying to
we've
go
moved
on
a
the
few
go.
in and out. When I
Yeah.
think of the light, you're right. It definitely comes to kids. I think of the Pokemon market, but just being $200, I figured it would have gotten more with as popular as the Switch has been with Animal Crossing, with everything. Like I just felt like it would have done more. I wonder if it's
Yeah.
because they're both portables. So like if you spend
Yeah.
extra, you can have the portable plus the TV. But like they're both at the end of the day, they're both portables.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think it's also like with regular customers, they think about maybe couch co-op or multiplayer, and like with a Switch Lite, you can't really do that. But with a Switch on the TV,
Good point.
you can get a co-op going. I don't know. Every time I talk to Fiona or like her friends or whatever, it's like they're not thinking the Lite at all. It's all about the Switch and all
yeah,
about
when
getting it on the
Victoria's
TV.
Friend at church, when Animal Crossing was all the rage and Victoria was playing it, she had three of her friends that wanted to get Animal Crossing just to play. They wanted to get a Switch just to play Animal Crossing, and I was like, "Yeah, go get the Lite," and none of them did. Actually, now that you're saying that, they all just got the regular Switch.
Yeah.
I often bring that up. Like, there is oh boy, from this stems from me having watched like way too many Michael Pachter videos on YouTube for the last decade. Do you guys know who that is?
I've heard of that name.
He's like a video game financial analyst. He used to actually be
Right.
like way more popular, like in magazine days. He was kind of like one of the go-to people. I think Twitter's kind of drowned him out, I think, a little bit. But he used to always say that, like, I think in the American market, like a higher price tag to a lot of consumers means it's better, even if it's not. Like just
Right.
the idea that you pay more, they're like, ooh, that's the like let's get it's like a top shelf, it's a premium feeling.
And
Yeah.
it is only $100 more. So to
Right.
have such a good feature for just that little more, I feel like
Yeah.
it probably does convince a lot of people.
Probably. But I was pretty shocked to see that.
Me too.
Nintendo updated their best-selling games list. It looks a lot like it did last time we did this. Few notable surprises, at least for me, and if you guys have anything you want to add. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 23 million units sold, 900,000 units sold of Breath of the Wild Zelda in the last quarter. That's like it's still chugging along very
Do you think
well.
we
Good
got
on 'em.
another boost of sales after seeing the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
think
think.
all the YouTube videos, all the hubbubaloo, it gets interest. It gains interest. It's one of the cases why I was always claiming for E3 to stay, because I think that stuff matters when you get that kind of. It's not just Nintendo speaking in a direct. It's like I always call it the echo chamber, like that gaming reverberation. When you have a Gamescom or an E3, like it gets more people looking at it than normally would look at it. Nintendo does a direct, you get Nintendo fans watching the direct. Nintendo does a direct at E3, you get gaming fans looking at the Nintendo. Like it reaches beyond that circle, I think, or at least in my head. That's the argument I've always made. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I've always thought. But I mean, Mario Kart Deluxe, Animal Crossing, Smash Brothers, like what we've always said, like what we've said for the last 3 years, it continues to sell and sell well. Very well in Mario Kart 8's case. Very, very well.
I wish it would stop selling.
I mean, it is.
So we can get another Mario Kart.
I mean, nothing is GTA, but it is their GTA. Like it is just their GTA
Yeah.
5. I mean, it just keeps selling. It's very odd. It's strange.
It's not really though, because I mean, they marketed Mario Kart. I think I brought this up before. They marketed Mario Kart 7 for the 3DS for the entire lifespan of it,
True.
and never made another game. And
And they
just
put
kept
it in the
selling
system
and
too.
selling.
Like they gave it away
Yeah.
too at one point.
Yeah.
You're right. Mario Kart.
They
I've
just
always.
never-
Go ahead.
They just never made another one. It just kept selling and selling and selling.
Sure. I've always contended it's their best franchise. I've thought that since like Super Nintendo. It's been their best franchise for a very long time. It just has.
Oh yeah.
It's like Wii Sports wide appeal with Mario as the flagship character. It's like just a juggernaut in that regard. And if you,
Yeah.
it can be hit or miss. Like you look at the Wii U and you're like, it's a miss, but it's not. Like it almost sold 1-to-1 for every system it sold. Like it was pretty solid. But then you look at the Wii and what it did, and it's like, yeah, everybody loves Mario Kart. That's what makes it different. It's like everybody loves Mario Kart. There's nobody that
Non-gamers
doesn't
like
like
Mario Kart.
Yeah, everybody loves
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
I saw a tweet comparing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and then the lifetime sales of Mario Kart Wii. It's about the same now. 37 million units.
Yep.
Freaking insane.
Freaking insane. Mario Party over 15 million. Yeah, they're doing very,
That's
very well.
good. Ring Fit Adventure coming in.
11
million.
I remember going 6 million units. I was like, that's insane. And they were about to double that number.
Yeah.
We're so getting a Ring Fit
for $80.
We're definitely getting Ring Fit 2. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Last bullet point that is somewhat surprising. Nintendo announced today that they will be doing a buyback for investors of their share. Roughly 1.5% of the total shares will be bought off the market. That's like $1 billion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys knew that. It's like $950 million of shares they're going to buy back to boost their stock a little bit, to kind of to shore it up a bit, because I think it's down like 15% over the year, like overall. So there might be some investor shakiness to the stock. I don't think so. I think those are people extrapolating too much. My little soapbox when it comes to Nintendo stock, if you look at it over the last 30 years, it's extremely profitable. It goes up and down, but over the last 30 years, it mostly goes up. Like, it always goes up if you look at it in that way, year over year. Not, the bad year to the good year to the bad year. But if you look at it for 10 years, it always always finishes better than it started. So I'm sure their investors will appreciate that. And I'm sure it will, at least for the short term, kind of shore up their numbers.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. We have a question, Rebecca.
So one of our longtime listeners, Yarden, brought up a point that exactly a year ago, he says, I asked if the Switch would outsell the Wii. It was a very interesting discussion. After looking at the earnings report, the Switch should pass it sometime next year. Now, he has a question, but I did go back. I asked him, do you have the link to this episode? Like, I remember answering this, and it doesn't feel like it's been a whole year ago, but I remembered that we talked about it. I didn't remember what we said, though. So I went back and I listened to it, and it was an interesting conversation. Do you guys remember how you answered it?
No idea.
I don't know what I said yesterday, so it would be very hard to believe.
If you're asking me this question now about what I would have said a year ago, I would guess that I would have sold that it would outsell the Wii.
So
I think so.
We didn't give like a direct yes or no. We kind of dived into a little bit more and said, well, if Nintendo does this, yes. If Nintendo does that, no.
Oh, you're jogging my memory.
Very topical was the Switch Pro conversation, and we were talking about, Nintendo was just talking about at that time, they want to extend the family of systems, that it's going to be generations. Like, we were bringing up scenarios: is this going to be like a Switch Pro, part of the Switch family, or is this going to be a new console, a Switch 2, or even like a new type of name? And we said if they go in that latter direction, no, we don't really think that it will necessarily go and surpass the Wii numbers. We said, though, if they continued with, this family of systems, they put out that Switch Pro, and we had a very good discussion about the Switch Pro graphics being enough to sell to the casual market, and I was very pessimistic against you guys. I was saying that Nintendo fans don't care about that. They care about the exclusive games, so it would matter if they're putting out exclusive games that people would want to upgrade. But we are at that point where it's gonna pass it, and we didn't get the Switch Pro, but we got the Switch OLED, and I think, judging by people's response to the OLED, I think Nintendo fans will just buy anything that has Nintendo's name on it at this point. It doesn't need to have all this. You guys were talking about, well, if it has this, that, and the Switch Pro is all these amazing things, of course the casual market will eat it up. It didn't even need to have that. I think you guys overshot that with your optimism about it, and I way undershot it and said, no, Nintendo fans don't care about that. But we were both right and wrong in different ways.
Well, they're going to sell a ton of these OLEDs.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be a lot of existing customers, though? Or you think like it'll be a breath of fresh air?
I think it is.
I think both. I think definitely
both. Does it mix both? Okay.
I think it'll be.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how much more people...
I was a little bit naive last year when you asked this, Yarden. So his question now is, my question is, will the Switch outsell the Game Boy Color? Game Boy / Game Boy Color at 118 million.
Oh.
See you in a year.
Will it? Yes. Will it do it next year? No, but I think it will.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
do think it will.
Yeah, not next year.
Okay.
Not next year, probably.
The OLED
I don't know. I don't know how much the OLED will push.
To
but
do this
if
again-
they come out with something next year.
To do this again, based off of what we saw from the OLED, I don't expect that they'll come out with a Switch 2 within a year of launching that one. They can. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they wouldn't. I'm not saying it's impossible. They could. But based on the OLED, I think the Switch is here to stay for at least 18 months, if not 2 years. If not 2 years.
I think at that point last year we were skeptical about the legs that the Switch as a family of systems would have. I think that was just when the Lite was announced around that time, starting to pick up steam. And then we weren't sure if they were going to go in the opposite direction with the Switch Pro, and we thought that they would, but there was always that hypothetical, what if they just come out with a new console?
Yeah, and they can.
And it might not have reached, that
Breath of the
that
Wild
level, but
2 gives them an opportunity. They don't have to take it, but it gives them an opportunity. But I think that we'll get the Switch OLED. They'll continue to sell the Switch Lite, and the Switch OLED. Oh, speaking of this Switch Lite, just for a minute, I'm going to come back to this, but when you see those Switch Lite numbers and only 15 million overall, and all those people are like, where's the Switch Lite OLED? It's like, why would you?
I know, that's the exact conversation I was thinking too.
Yeah, it's like, why would you upgrade that at all? Like they're not selling those now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, keep it at the product.
Don't raise the price on that unit that is not finding a lot of traction. Just keep it as cheap as possible. That's like their flat 2DS, right? That's the wedge of the Switch systems. It's like that's as bare cheap as they could possibly make it.
Yeah.
The Switch Lite. Switch Lite's great.
I like my Switch Lite a little bit more than the wedge, though.
It's great. The Switch Lite's great. I didn't mean anything like that. I just meant like economics.
Right.
Okay. Back to what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 2, would be 18 months away. You give them 20 million this year and 20 million next year because they'll have another big game next year. Like they have Splatoon. We already know that. They have Arceus. We know that. There's probably 2 or 3 other things in there that'll be really big that they could do. And I'm not counting Breath of the Wild because I keep trying to say, like, I'm not sold that Breath of the Wild's next year. If anything, I'm almost more sold that it's the year after. I'm if you were to ask me to really like place a bet with like some meaning behind it, I'd bet money that it slips and it's not next year, it's the year after. But there's going to be other things. Bayonetta, there are other things that they could start dropping. If there's some Mario thing out there that fills in or something like that. So those are really big sellers. Splatoon will be a really big seller. So with the rejuvenated fan base with the OLED, people wanting to double dip, people wanting to upgrade, and new people coming in, 20 million this year, 20 million next year gets them easily to 120 in my head. So I'm thinking 2 years from now, they're easily at 120, and that's before a price cut. When they get ready to launch a new model, or after they launch the model, they can always cut the price of the existing models and sell more of those. That also happens. People forget about that all the time. How many PS3s were sold, or how many PS2s were sold when they announced PS3? Like they actually sold a ton of PS2s because they cut the price, and they sold gangbusters for like 3 years because they were selling them as like $100 Blu-ray players. There does exist an opportunity, especially like on the Switch Lite. Like if they announce a Switch 2, and let's say for 18 months they just like cut the Switch Lite to 150 or 139.
Oh, that's
like
price,
it'll move units real fast, and those numbers will go up real fast. So there's even more. There's room, I think, in the Switch just as is. Not even talking about next generation. There's room that I think you can easily get to 130 or more.
And it's definitely going to be, as you said, 2 years is probably a good time scale of when probably the next Switch 2 or Switch Pro or whatever is going to come out. That's a good logical sense going about it. I just wonder what's the percentage of existing fans are going to double dip into this OLED Switch. I want to see some convincing, like some comparative videos, and like
that's what
I
we're
think,
all waiting for. Nintendo's
I think people
that.
are going to research about it.
They're
and
holding
like, it. They're holding it hard.
I don't think they want. I was thinking about it. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've actually given that a lot of thought because we see these hands-on impressions, but we see no evidence. And I think I don't even think it's absolutely calculated. I think they don't want you to think that your Switch is bad. Like they don't want anybody to not buy a Switch to wait for an OLED. Like they keep wanting you to buy the Switch, so they're going to hold it. Like they're just going to hold it until it comes out, and then they'll let Digital Foundry and IGN and everybody do it for you. But like they don't want to show you how bad your old Switch looks.
Yeah, that's true.
Were you gonna add anything to that, Garrett?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just skeptical of like how the Switch OLED's gonna perform, and like we'll see how it goes. I can't imagine how many more new customers, because there's just so many out there now. It's like people who wanted to get the Switch got the Switch, and I think it's just a hearsay, mouth by mouth. Like if you want a Switch, my friend has it. That's how I'm gonna convince to get a Switch or something. But I'm just still skeptical.
I agree with all those points, and I think it's a factor, like all of those factor into it. It's not just one or two things that's going to push all of those. The OLED is obviously going to sell units, but I don't think that's necessarily the only thing. The games, obviously, that you pointed out, Donnie, I totally agree with that. It is going to push more units for people who are like, finally, the Switch has a library. Let me jump into it.
Metroid is a chance for them to reach new players, Garrett. I don't think every Metroid fan has a Switch. I think they've been waiting for a reason to have a Switch. I don't think there's 10 million of them out there. I'm not trying to oversell it.
It's just a good chunk of people.
There will be people buying the Switches for Metroid, I'm sure.
Okay. The third thing that I think is going to play into it that neither of you brought up is the fact that in 2 years from now, the original Switch is going to be, 6 years old?
Yeah.
People's day one units are going to be breaking. They're going to be, scratched up. They're going to, even if they're not upgrading like for the OLED for the purpose of having a better system, their original Switch might just die or get broken or get lost, and they might say, you know what, it's kind of like it's a new iPad or anything. Like it's just time to upgrade to the next one. And so you're going to have people double dipping, not because they want a new Switch and they want the new flashier OLED or the new games or anything like that. They just need to because their Switch is 6 years old and it's
they crack
in the bucket.
Like, especially if that original one, like they crack under the heat and they chip and the case breaks off.
6 years is a long
just
time.
fine.
Especially if GameStop, especially if GameStop's going to give everybody $200 to trade it in, then it's $150 to refresh your entire setup.
I think you move units for just people with day one Switches who are like, it's time. People upgrade their phones after 6 years, less than that in most cases. So,
it's also going to be there for Christmas. Like it's going to come out.
So
true.
I'm going to be more optimistic, Yarden, than I was last year. And I'm going to say, yes, by the end of the Switch family lifespan of systems, it will pass the Game Boy / Color.
Let me tell you, my half brother, he's 8 or 9 years old now, but I remember when he got the Switch and he messed that thing up like 4 months later with Fortnite, and I'm like, how can you mess up these Joy-Cons so hard?
Ooh, yeah.
It's just a wear and tear deal. It's like all these kids, I mean, like it's just the same thing with iPads and everything. They just get their grimy kid like hands all over it. They throw it all around. Like I could totally see that reason now.
There's a layer of grease that's just exists
gross.
on Jack's Switch. Every time he brings it to me and shows me something, I'm like, what is this grime? It's colorless. It's clear.
But you can see the COVID.
Totally see it. I'm always asking him, like, did you lick it? Like, what is on this? Is it hair gel? Like, what is on it? How did this happen? Because I'm infamous for, I clean my stuff. You'd think I'm like a germaphobe, but I'm not. I'm just like I go out of my way to protect my things. Like my boss and my office staff, they make so much fun of me. Every time I open my Chromebook or my laptop to work, I always clean it. I carry like a little spray bottle and I wipe the keyboard and everything. And they're like, are you a germaphobe? I'm like, this has nothing to do with germs. It's like, I like my stuff to be nice and new and clean. I don't want it to break, be ugly and grimy. He's a train wreck. So good point, Rebecca. Good point.
He didn't get that from his dad.
Yeah, I don't know where that happens. Oof. Also in news, Mario Golf Super Rush got an update today featuring a new ranked match mode, Toadette as a playable character. They've released New Donk City course, and they've provided some update to motion controls, although I didn't read too much into that. So it's a free update. Like Pokemon, you can go play it. Here's Toadette, a new course. I had half of mine to maybe want to reinstall it just to check out the New Donk City course because it's different, like you're playing on the street and stuff. I didn't, and I don't think I will, but I will tell you, it gave me like a pause. I was like, maybe. Nah, never mind. But I thought about it. So if you guys
How
are
many
really
more?
digging Super Rush, definitely go out there and
Now, they did. I don't know if you saw the follow-up tweet, but they said that more updates will be planned for later this year.
Sure.
So this isn't the only thing that we're getting. I don't know if it'll be that substantial online tournament update that you want, but we do know more is coming. It will at least, I'm sure, be characters and courses.
if they do tournaments, I guess I'll commit to playing with folks. Like if somebody in Shaq wants to do them, I'll probably play because I like golf games maybe. But like that's the thing. I don't like the way the game plays, and I don't feel like it'd be a very fun tournament because of the way the mechanics work and the way the characters are balanced. And it's not that it's bad. I just feel like eventually we'll get to the level where everybody's the same. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I think we'll get to a tournament where there's like 20 people and we all shoot 15 or 16 under. Because the game is just easy and the mechanics are very repetitive and they're easy to pull off. So I don't think there'll be like a large variation amongst the field. I don't think it'll be like a true representation of somebody playing a good round or like getting hot with the putter. Yeah. I talked about that in my 40-minute, soapbox about the game, but like putting is really easy in the game. It's super easy. And I think if you're going to play tournaments, you're eventually going to get to the point where you make every putt. And trust me, the reason I say that is after about 18 hours, I was to the point where I made every putt that I looked at. That's not fun. That's not going to be fun in a tournament, I don't think. Now, I see the tweets. I know there are people out there. I see them on Twitch, and they're challenging each other, and I see them, and stuff like that. And if they're having fun, I don't want to be the person that steals their fun. I don't want to take away from that. But for me, it just doesn't scratch that itch for me. Like ranked. They're like, you can have ranked battles. I'm like, it's so easy. What purpose that solve? Just everybody's top rank, or it's all the same rank? Because I don't think there's not a big discrepancy here in terms of like getting good at the game.
I can't help but feel like this should have been in the original game.
Oh, it definitely should.
Oh, they cut it off. Of course they did.
They probably
It's
couldn't
not
finish it in time.
substantial.
No,
I don't know.
but it's also not that far after release. So I'm glad to see that. And we all thought it was going to get those aces type of support, and I'm sure that they will.
Yeah.
But as I said the whole time, man, I really, it's like just really too casual for my liking. That's the best way of putting it. It's too casual of a game.
And it's trying to be more fun in different ways, not golf-wise, right?
Exactly.
With the running
so for somebody
and
like
the
me,
game.
Gimmicky.
yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't fit for me. Now, if it was like a party game, I think Mario Golf Super Rush, there exists a really great drinking game in there somewhere. Like you get some friends over at your house, you play only motion controls, 4 people in a room, and you drink.
Run.
Like whoever finishes the whole last takes a shot. There's a good game to be had there. And if anybody wants to do that on Twitch, I'm game. Let's do it. Like that sounds great. But if you're like, let's get serious and prove who's the best golfer, this is a terrible
Not the
terrible
right game.
Yeah, this is a terrible choice for that.
I see.
Okay, well, that does it. Let's check the time.
Hey.
Let's see, a pretty nifty
About an
56
hour.
minutes for a show that has really no news at all. So Rebecca, will you hit us with a few questions?
Yeah, we have a lot of good questions this week, which is good when we don't have news. You guys always come through with the questions on the weeks that we don't have news.
Thank you
So
guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Just
very
a big
much.
thank you to the ones who are submitting questions week after week, or if you just submit questions every once in a while.
Lifeblood of the Shack.
We appreciate it, especially on weeks like this. Hovik wants to know, since none of the Shack hosts are that big into Smash Bros, is there a character that could show up in the last slot of Fighters Pass 3 that would get you back into the game? The answer could be any character, regardless of their chances to actually be announced.
Get me back into the game? No. I have no want, desire, energy to ever play Smash, I don't think, again. I'm not even sure like a new Smash. Like I don't
Really?
I don't particularly like it. Like just the game. Like I'm not good enough to play at like a high competitive level. But even outside of that, I don't want to sit there and just keep fighting. I think a lot of it is stemmed that Nintendo leans so hard on Smash on Wii U, and then I got it. I got it on 3DS, and I got it on. I'm good for a while. Like, I could really live without Smash for a good 6, 7, 8 extended years. Like, let it go away at this point, because I've been playing the same Smash game, I feel like, for like a decade. Like, it's been a long time. I've been playing the same Smash game for a very long time. So I'm good. Now, are there characters that they could announce that I would be excited about just to like see them in there? Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's not what. Yeah, he was asking what would get us to boot it up and play it.
And
Yeah.
the answer is no.
Oh, really? I mean, I used to be huge into Smash, and I played a good chunk of this last game, but it's nowhere near as early just because of like I don't have anyone to play it with like couch co-op wise, and the online kind of sucks. So I just play the what is it, like the main campaign or the main storyline of this game? I forgot what it was called. It's
World of Light.
Yeah. So the lasers come and snap everybody up.
Yeah, that was actually cool, and that was nice. But like after I beat that with my characters, I'm like, I'm good. If Joker did not,
spirits.
Yeah, collect all the spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
If Joker didn't get me into this, I don't know what character would. To be quite honest with you, to boot it back up. I mean, like,
we only know that we only have one character, right? It's one more left.
Yeah, it's one more left, and I don't know. It could be, I mean, it could be anyone's game, to be honest with you, any franchise.
It's gonna be Crash.
I hope
If
not.
it's
I would just
Crash,
throw that game.
Oh my god, they can't.
It's
They
gonna make
can't
me
do
so
that.
mad. It's gonna be Crash.
They can't.
I can see it coming from like a
If
mile
it's
away.
Crash, then it's being delayed, and they're just gonna like be like, "Oh yeah, we had a problem. We're gonna have it come out next year. We just really want it to like be the best like move set that it can be," and then they're gonna pick somebody else.
Oh no, please not, please don't. But yeah, I
Would
don't
be
think so.
unfortunate.
I don't think any character would motivate me to get back in there.
I don't think for me either. Like Donnie, I think there are characters I would be excited about just because I believe in their inclusion in Smash. It would take a lot for me to boot up the game and play it again. I think if this character is so interesting or whatever that all of my friends wanted to play it, like I don't think I would ever play it by myself again. I think if everybody in Shaq was like, oh, like, you know, this is such a good character, like let's all just like have a night where we play it, that's where I would boot up and get into it. I don't see myself doing it for a particular character. Maybe a Zelda character if it's like really cool and I'm just really into the Zelda aspects of the stages and whatnot, but that's not gonna happen. Like, so I want Sora for the last one.
It's gonna be another Tekken fighter.
Oh goodness, please don't.
No. I want Sora. I'm pulling for Sora because I believe in his inclusion.
I want anybody from Streets of Rage. That's the hill I'm dying on now. Why the hell is Streets of Rage not in Smash Brothers?
I don't know.
That's egregious.
I know. One of the most like famous like beat 'em up games that you need a character in there.
I feel like there's a lot that you can say that for. There's a lot of obvious, really deserving franchises that aren't in it.
And none of them were Terry Bogard.
None of them.
None of them were Terry Bogard. And you know, it's sad because there is only one, and all of those deserving ones aren't gonna get in. Yep. And that's the fact of the matter, and people are going to have to be okay with that.
Yep.
There's just too many characters in Smash. Like,
Streets of Rage is Sega too.
We're spoiled. We're very spoiled with Smash, and I don't think anybody has a right to complain.
I initially loved the idea of all characters, previous Smash characters, including like Mewtwo. It's like, oh man, these are like the deep cuts. Like, I really love this. And then now it's like, what, 12 more characters? I'm like, no, I'm tired. I'm kind of done with this.
Yeah. That's how I felt for a while now. I think we've talked about it every time there's another announcement. It's like, Travis was the one. It was really the one. And I was like, I'm all in Travis. And then they made him a me. And I was like, now it's dead to me. Like now it's just, it's over. Like the hope is gone.
Yeah. Skull Kid.
It's over. It's over.
Yep. So no, Hobie, we are not booting up that game. TPR wants to know, what are you all looking for in a new Kirby title? I personally would love to see a mainline Kirby make the shift from 2D to 3D. Planet Robobot was the last entry I truly enjoyed. Curious to hear your thoughts.
Planet Robobot was freaking amazing. And I've said it many, many times on the show. And I loved it, and I would love for it to come back. I would take an HD port. I would love like a sequel. I would love a sequel that included the original. Like just HD the whole damn thing. Cool. And like here's, Planet Robobot World or whatever. I think Kirby, Kirby is a bad rap because he often gets put in
Yes.
very simple games that are like people conceive as like cheap or like not as valuable. So I want to see Kirby do something else. I just don't know what it is. He does a lot of combat and stuff, so I was thinking like a Diablo styled like hack and slash game.
A
like
3D
with,
hack and slash,
like with Kirby.
I could get
Kirby
down with that.
Fighters.
Right.
We
like,
said that. We said Kirby Fighters would be a good game. Or no, Kirby Warriors. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Kirby Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like something like, because Kirby does like, especially retro Kirby has like some top down titles.
Yeah.
Like, could you put it in a Diablo perspective and like a Kirby Fantastical World, and you just go around and just smash, lots of people? I'd buy that game.
Yeah. Maybe you can control like multiple Kirby's too with different powers with that Diablo style game.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
can see that. I want a completely different take. You guys ready for this? The RPG is coming in me. It's a deck building turn-based RPG
I'm
Kirby. Let's
Okay.
freaking go.
That's not where I thought you were going.
We're gonna build a deck. We're gonna get all the cards, all the different Kirby powers, all the buffs and debuffs. I want it. You know what? I would be down with a Kirby style game like that. Like, no joke. Get that Kirby skin on there. I would play that. I would pay $60 for that.
How do you do a Kirby card game?
You got various
you're
monsters.
right,
You
there
got
are
various
power-ups.
companions, and there's
Yeah.
power ups and everything. Think of Slay the Spire. Think of what was it? SteamWorld Quest.
Yeah. Okay.
Like has that cartoonish style going.
All right.
on.
Yeah. SteamWorld Quest makes sense.
It's a very it is basic. Like you just have your cards and like
Sure.
you can copy and
When you
rip
were-
off of everyone and put
When
a
you
skin
said
in there.
cards, deck building,
Yeah.
like I originally was thinking like Magic, like a card game.
Oh,
And
no.
then you said SteamWorld
Oh.
Quest, and that's like your attacks. Like that's the
Yes.
combat mechanics is card based. I'm like, that makes sense. Like Paper Mario. Like I get it. Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Has there been a Kirby RPG?
I don't.
I'm sure there has.
Maybe, but very
probably like baby
surface
RPG
level.
though.
Yeah.
Well, I would want something that's, I guess, a little bit more on the lines of like Super Mario RPG, which I know is more of a simplified RPG, but kind of more of that whimsical like
Oh,
You're
I
not
wish to
alone.
know
feel
that.
to it.
I googled it, and RPG Maker has Kirby's RPG Nightmare Conquest.
So people have made fan-made version of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I think you're right. One of you said it that Kirby kind of works with any kind of genre here.
He
Like
does.
you could do things like that. And I do feel like a lot, and I'm not a Kirby game fan. I've played one of them, I think. From that outside perspective, I can't help but feel like all of the Kirby games look exactly the same. Like it's very samey. Each time I see a trailer, it's like, oh, this is just Kirby again. And I would like to see it changed up. I know. I'm sorry because I love Kirby as a character. I really do. I
They had,
really
like,
like Kirby.
They had the clay Kirby.
Oh yeah.
They've done a little bit with
I
his aesthetics,
don't
but it
mean
all
art
is very
styles.
like.
I don't mean art styles. I mean gameplay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Feels very samey.
yeah. Well, I mean, they have platformers, and then they've got the more action-based combat, and then
They
he's
got the rainbow canvas curse thing.
yeah, and then
too,
they did
yeah.
pinball and
puzzles.
There's lots of puzzle and like like the golf, the little pinball
Yeah.
thing. Like, they've done
I'm
a
sure.
lot of
I'm
that
sure
too.
they are very different. I
Yeah.
just haven't felt very compelled to get into Kirby games.
Yeah.
But I do love Kirby. He's one of my favorite characters.
He's a great
He's so
character,
cute.
and he
He's
has
a literal
Freaking
god.
powerful.
Yeah,
people
he's a
should put some
god.
respect on his name.
On
He's
his
Yeah.
from Hal, and
That's true.
he does have great games like Planet Robobot,
I wish I
Kirby's
was into it more.
Dream Course,
Yeah.
Dreamland. Like they have some really, really great Kirby games. Not all of them, I understand.
Maybe I should
but
try to get
some of
into
them.
Kirby more. Next time there's kind of like a slumping games and I'm looking for something to play, maybe I'll try a Kirby game.
I would be paying attention to RoboCop whatever 2, whatever that is.
Dude, if you're playing
Something.
3DS, I would absolutely implore you to go try that.
Oh yeah, I'll download that.
Kirby's
Robobot?
yeah, Robobot's great. I loved that game. I remember when it came out, we were doing Nintendo Shack at the time. It was me, Jason, and Kevin. And I believe the funny thing when it was like shown or whatever at the time is everybody just dismissed it. Like, oh god, another Kirby game. Kirby Battlers, Kirby Fighters, Kirby Fighter with a Z. And I played it and I was like, this game is freaking awesome. Like I was definitely digging Kirby in a mech. I mean, it was really good. But also on 3DS, just if you want to go old school, a little retro. I know you like your retro stuff, Rebecca. They released the Kirby's Adventure Dream Court, whatever, like the 3D
The GBA?
classic version of the old school one, and I really enjoyed playing. Like, I got really into some of those 3D classics. They did the old games in 3D, and some of them are excellent. Like Sonic is not. Sonic was like, you turn on the 3D effect and nothing really happens. You know, like there's a little foreground. Streets of Rage in 3D was amazing. Outrun in 3D was awesome, and Kirby's, I think it was Adventure in 3D, was great. It's very simple, and I think that actually makes sense. I think those old retro style games, a lot of it was character items you can interact in the foreground, flashy animations and stuff in the background, and when you do that in 3D, is really nice. And I remember I played whatever that Kirby game was in 3D, and I loved it. So if I can shout out another one to anybody out there that wants to check out some Kirby games, 3DS was a great system for Kirby, actually. A lot of Kirby games in that system.
I would check that out. The only one that I ever played was Nightmare in Dreamland on the Game Boy Advance when I was like a kid, like when it came out. So yeah, I'd be interested in checking that out. Gags wants to know if Nintendo could give another Game Boy Advance game the same remake treatment Advance Wars 1 and 2 is getting for the Switch, which game would you pick? He says, I would pick Golden Sun.
I need your guys' help. I don't know. I don't know the portables enough to know the games that came from which generation.
I think Golden Sun would be a good answer.
That'd be a very good answer.
I've never played it, and I feel like that would be a good way to
I never played it either.
get me into it in a modern way.
Who made Golden Sun again? I'm sorry. I know it's someone that we know.
It wasn't Camelot, was it?
But I think it was
so,
Camelot. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see that developer going with JRPG. So I would definitely love to see Golden Sun remade on the Switch too. I think that's the next one.
The GBA was the last time that we had like those really excellent Mario Golf RPGs, right? Like they were like actual
I think
RPGs.
so, yes.
So that'll be my answer. I have whatever one. I don't know if it was on the GBA or the GB Color or whatever, but I've got one on my 3DS and I was playing it.
I think it was the GBA.
Steven helped me hack it. Let me put that on
Nice.
there. And I played it for about an hour, and I was like, if I don't put this down right now, I'll never not stop. Like, I'll never stop playing this golf game from 20 years ago or whatever.
I need to catch up with my GBA library. The only ones I really play is Pokemon, but they are remated, so I'm not in a hurry with others.
I bought a GBA game on eBay yesterday.
I
bought WarioWare Twisted because it has not been re-released.
Rebecca, listen. You don't have to play every game that comes out.
You don't have to play every game in that franchise, all right?
Thank you. I definitely
waste your time.
But I did. I went and I bought it on eBay, and I don't care. It was way more expensive than I probably should have paid for it. I don't care. But it hasn't been re-released, and I want to play it with people were saying like you can emulate it with like using button controls for the tilting and whatnot, and I'm sure that would be fine. Like I'm sure people could play it that way. I don't want to play it that way. There's a lot, and I was kind of looking at this. There's a lot of GBA games that never got re-releases anywhere else besides the WarioWare games that were on it. There's some Wario Lands that were stuck on there.
There's a lot of GBA games.
Yeah,
they got lost.
They're good. Like that was a good era, really good era. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can answer this question. There's games that I would want to replay, but Golden Sun is a game I've never played, and I know that's be great. Your answer, but it's also my answer.
Nice.
I want to play it. Yeah.
It looks really good. I played for like 5 minutes on my Retro Pocket, and I was like, oh, time to play 5 other games before this.
I'm still waiting for you, Garrett. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
I'll wrap up Final Fantasy VII. That's my next classic game.
I'm trying to finish Chrono Cross, so I'm gonna try to finish Chrono Cross before we do that.
Sounds good.
I like this question. Soundscape says, who was your first video game crush and why? He says, mine was Joanna Dark from the N64 game Perfect Dark. The official art was easy on the eyes, and on top of that, she was a sassy spy agent, which is a plus.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love Joanna? All right, so Garrett, we're in an interesting situation here because if we go too crazy, people are gonna be like, "Look at these perverts."
Do we talk about
I don't
or not?
Which I don't feel like. Yeah, I don't feel like the ladies get that same kind of judgment. First is interesting because first makes me think of some folks for sure, but like I don't think I was that into like video game crushes until like maybe a little bit later on, like when I got to know the characters a little bit more. But first, Blaze or Chun-Li, probably, I think.
Yeah.
The other one that comes to mind is like Ada Wong from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, Chun-Li's got the dress with the slit all the way up the thigh. Ada Wong has the dress with the split all the way up the thigh. Blaze,
So we got those
Blaze
going for them.
just doesn't wear anything, you know, like Blaze is just, you know, like a mini skirt and a bra. So, proving that thick thighs save lives. Those are
Seriously.
going to be my answers in terms of first. Now, when you start talking about all of them, start talking about Camilla and Corin and stuff like that, like we can do this for days. But first, those would be my answers. Probably, I feel like Blaze was the first one. And I think Blaze kind of led me to introduce me to like Street Fighter and Chun-Li and other folks.
I actually didn't have like much of an answer because I was like, wait, what is the first crush I had in video? I wasn't too sure. And then when you said Chun-Li, Donnie, I was like, oh yeah. I remember picking her on Street Fighter.
You did.
Yeah,
Definitely
in the
did.
arcades. Of course I did. So that's probably one of my first crushes. I'm just trying to think.
Dude, XBS in the chat says Cammy. I remember Cammy.
Yeah. Yeah, just other than Fire Emblem, I'm not too sure of like other female characters I had crushes on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ever?
Assassin's
I didn't
Creed,
really
female
have-
characters, some of them. But other than
Laura
that,
Croft.
I mean, Laura, like it
I'm
was
with
polygons.
you. Laura didn't do. Yeah, Laura nothing.
It's
for me there.
literally like cones.
But Resident Evil. I feel like every Resident Evil.
I didn't
game's
play
got-
Resident Evil. That's the thing. I never got into them.
I got
so, Yeah.
I never really had video game crushes either. Like, I mean, I guess the closest would be, don't laugh, Riku from Kingdom Hearts. I just thought was like, he looked so cool with
I don't
the
even know what this. I'm gonna
hair.
gotta look this up.
The gray hair, dude.
He was like badass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's look this up.
This.
So that's like the
Of course, the
closest.
emo cool guy. Like, of course you go with him.
Yeah, this is spot on.
I mean, I wouldn't even know if I would call that a crush, but like, I liked him when I was playing Kingdom Hearts, and I never even finished the game. But
Didn't like him that long. Didn't even finish
I,
the game.
I guess not. I guess not. But I don't know. I didn't really. I wouldn't have called any of them crushes or anything like that.
I wanted Link to marry Saria in Ocarina of Time.
I feel like
yeah,
so.
that would've been good.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't have a lot of video game crushes growing up because I feel like growing up, obviously games were more catered towards boys, and they made they made a lot of attractive female
Cammy.
characters that you would want to have crushes on, and not so many male characters that you would want to have crushes on.
Well,
I wouldn't call this a video game crush either, but when I played Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life and I had to be a boy farmer because that's the farmer that you got, and then your only choices to marry were 3 bachelorettes, and I picked the one that I liked, that I thought was the nicest and the prettiest. I don't think that's a crush, but
sure.
it wasn't catered towards
I was
me.
going to ask you. I wanted to dive in because we hear this a lot, and you're absolutely right. I'm not saying that you're not. You're absolutely right. And video games have always been driven towards kind of that male gaze, and we've seen a lot of those characters. And we've come a long way. We see a lot of
Definitely different now.
more women empowered characters for sure. But
Yeah.
I want to ask you, because it's not like there's an absence of dudes that don't have like muscles for days and their shirts off and stuff like that.
I'm not into that.
Right. So
Like,
that's what I
for
wanted
the
to like.
girls
Let's
who
get into
are-
that a little.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
You're not into muscles or.
So what would have been
A
that
nice
character?
booty.
What would be like a crushable character if there was one?
So I'm thinking on the girl side now. I have girl crush characters that, like, even not growing up childhood. What was your
Look
first
where this
video
question
game
is going. This
character?
question is going
I
places.
love it.
Oh my God, am I in love with Rachel Amber from Life is Strange? Before
Oh.
Oh.
So you're Rachel.
Okay.
Holy crap!
See, I'm total Chloe. Like absolutely 100%.
Oh, really?
Well, Chloe,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I like Chloe, but like crush, give me Rachel Amber. Yeah, that does it. I like that.
It works.
Yeah.
Nice.
That checks out.
So more of like, I guess, I mean, she's pretty, but like the personality wise of it. I don't care about muscles on guys. Forget that.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, you know what I forgot?
The long hair, the Riku's long hair. I like that.
Okay, the long hair. So I was gonna say, is it gonna be more? It's got to be more like story driven. You need like more of a reason.
Personality.
Yeah.
Do you
long
like
hair.
emo goth like type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Pokemon. I completely like it. Kind of zipped by me, but come on, like the second badge is Misty.
Yeah, Missy doesn't do much for me.
And she's in a well, like the thing
Obviously.
is, it's a Game Boy game. I'm 5 years old, and she's like in a bathing suit. It's
The
just
characters
like,
that I picked were like
that's true.
femme fatales,
like, what is going on?
hair done, badass, and then you're like Misty. It's like overalls. It's like, nah.
But she has like the short shorts and whatnot.
Oh,
like,
my
she
God. I
dresses
don't mean to
nicely
throw
too.
shade on other folks, just not for me.
And the cartoon proportions, the legs are like 2/3 of the. Of
I
the
feel like
freaking
with the
body.
little sprites like that, like if maybe you weren't familiar with the anime or like the official art or anything, like your mind with the little sprites can make it kind of whatever you want it to be either for those types of games. I'm trying to think of other examples.
Well,
that are
check
like
the chat.
The milk tank person in the gold and silver version, the second
Whitney?
badge. Whitney, that's it. Yeah.
Somebody in
that's
chat
another
said
one.
Whitney. I saw they said that. I
Sab-
don't even
Sabrina?
remember what she looks like.
That's another one too.
Yeah, Sabrina's good.
She-
That's good.
None of
He
these
has
are
kind of a
Chun-Li,
weird
though.
personality.
But
No, it's not
there's
Chun-Li. but-
There are so many like hot girl gym leaders in Pokemon, but like
That's
name
true.
one guy that's hot in Pokemon.
Blaine.
Like,
Rock.
you have
Blaine.
Oh, Blaine.
He's totally
Blaine's, like,
hot.
old.
He's
Blaine's,
so
like,
hot.
old.
He's in a
No.
volcano. It is hot as can be.
He has like a
Okay,
mustache
no.
and no.
She hasn't got it.
uh-uh.
Dad jokes, Rebecca.
No.
Dad jokes.
No.
It's literally
like,
hot.
You have Dawn, you have Jasmine, you have Erica, you have
Erica,
Sabrina,
yeah.
Erica, good
like,
point.
Lieutenant Surge. Okay, yeah, but I'm not the muscly kind of girl.
See,
What about-
she
what about
needs.
Gary?
She needs.
What about Blue?
She needs a
Gary's
teenage
closer.
anti-hero. I don't know.
Long hair. It's gotta have the long
Emo.
hair.
Giovanni. How about let's go.
I don't remember
Mobster.
what he looks like.
He looks like a little Italian mobster.
Yeah, he really
That's-
does. Yeah, yeah. What about Gary?
Gary,
Gary's
that's what I was
closer.
thinking.
That's closer.
Yeah.
I don't know. The spiky
He's
hair
such a
doesn't do it
jerk
for me.
though the whole time.
Yeah,
Eh.
yeah.
Confident.
Mhm. I like red and silver and gold version. He doesn't talk much. You just
I don't think
play
I
against
have like waifu, or I don't think I've ever thought of that way of a
I don't.
Pokemon at all.
I
To
know.
be quite honest with you.
I think it really is just the
Fire
first
Emblem?
gen.
Absolutely. But like you said
You
Pokemon, and I
deliberately
was like,
have
really?
to couple them up together and fire them.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
that and Persona, it's romancing options.
That's half the
in there.
reason I ever got into Fire Emblem.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is awakening.
I like the question soundscape.
You should play more Fire Emblem, Rebecca. There's lots of dudes in there, all different
And lots
kinds.
of kids.
Yeah,
in there.
long hair, teenagers.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing to say. Go play Fire Emblem so you can have a crush on teenagers.
That's why we play. What are you talking about? I feel
something you
personally
say out
attacked.
loud.
Are you kidding
Don't
me?
say that out
I
loud.
bought
The
I bought
FBI will
this
knock on your door.
I bought this $150 anime waifu statue because of that very reason.
Moving on.
Personally attacked. Wow. I feel called
You're just on
out.
the borderline. Hey, just a number.
They're all 19.
Oh, dude, Persona? And?
Yeah, Persona. Yeah,
And?
yeah.
Okay.
My wife had was like, you gotta stop playing this game, Donnie. Because like
Because of
she
Anne.
would start talking and Anne would be, I'd be like, shh.
Hot video game.
Oh, dude,
trailer.
Catherine? All
Catherine?
of them. All the
Yeah, all
Catherines.
three. Well, no, two of the three.
Right, we're like,
Those are
Okay.
all back here.
20 hottest male video game characters.
Let's
feel
do
like
it.
So I'm thinking like because I grew up with Nintendo, I feel like I probably would have had a lot more had I played more PlayStation.
hang on a second. Hang on. Before you do it, Garrett,
I'm gonna say yes or no.
before
for
you do
each
it,
of them.
Garrett, let's see if we can name anybody on this list. This will be a fun exercise. Who do you think's on the list? I'm going to go with Link and Cloud.
Oh, those are two good ones, Sora.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Yeah?
pretty boy going.
Joker?
No. Oh, you mean Joker, the main protagonist, Persona 5.
But Dante.
Yeah, I can see that. Dante is a
You
good
think he'd
one
make
as
a
well.
list? We didn't even say Bayonetta. Dear Lord. We
Oh
could-
my gosh.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
But you didn't have
send
that growing
to the
up.
Nintendo.
No, we definitely didn't have it growing up, but this is just busted out of the rails.
We're derailing the.
Yeah, of
podcast
course, it
here.
absolutely
This is
has.
very important.
It's very
So
important.
everybody.
All right.
Street Fighter characters.
Um,
One of those in there.
Definitely no Mario characters, right? Like that's nobody thinks.
No,
anything
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
Okay.
no.
Because I mean, like Bowsette was a real thing, but I just wanted to
it's
be,
still a
be
real
real
thing.
quick. Like, chat. Let's see if we can get any more. I don't want to do this too long. Chris Redfield, absolutely. We definitely should have thought of Chris Redfield. Yeah, the Resident Evil guys. That makes sense. All right, Rebecca, give us.
I'm gonna go through it relatively quickly.
Sure.
Because there's 20 here. So the Prince from Prince of Persia. Does
Okay.
nothing for me.
Okay, pretty boy.
Yeah.
John Marston from Red Dead Redemption. Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Jin Kazama from Tekken.
Sure.
And be the next Smash character.
Okay, this is stupid. Number 17 is Prince Sidon from Breath of the Wild.
Is it the smile?
Shark.
What is that?
Oh goodness.
Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm really picky. Nier from Nier Gestalt.
Okay.
As one of the boys there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have never seen what Chris Redfield looks like until right now, and my answer is yes.
There you go.
Yep.
Goro Majima from Yakuza 0 is an eye patch,
Oh yeah, maybe.
and his hair's too slick back. Geralt Rivia from
Oh.
The Witcher
Oh,
3.
Geralt of
Geralt.
Rivia.
Geralt,
There we
I
go.
don't even know
I know that's a
Wait.
thing.
Okay, wait.
I've seen those
Witcher is
thirsty
fine.
women on Twitter. That's definitely a thing.
You got the hot
hot
tub,
tub.
going on
Yeah, the
every
bath
time.
thing. Yeah. All you gotta do is watch the Netflix series. You ever seen like
Henry Cavill, man, he's good.
Dreamboat?
Very
11.
Yeah.
Richter Belmont.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not all about like the ripped abs and stuff, but give me good arms. He has
Okay.
good arms.
All right.
Yeah, it's got a whip. Keep
He
that in
does
mind.
have a whip.
That's a good cake.
10 is Link from Twilight Princess specifically. I would say if you're gonna do any of the links, it's that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Kratos from God of War is number 9.
Wow.
No, I'm
He
good.
has a good beard.
That's
Yes. For the new one.
And
I
then-
don't,
new
I don't
one,
like the no hair. He's got to have hair. Give him hair and he's good.
Bald
Chrom-
guys
is it
everywhere
Chrom?
crying.
Chrom?
Chrom.
From Fire Emblem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
see that. That's probably
definitely.
It
the,
looks like-
the best
See, my
one.
problem with the Fire Emblem one is they all have the same exact blue hair and they all look like their face looks exactly the same. You just change their hair and they all look the same.
Yeah, Crom, Marth, and Ike are like
I would have thought
they're
Marth.
twin
if I was to
brothers.
guess, but
Marth
yeah.
is there. Roy as well. Yeah.
No, does nothing for me. 7 is Solid Snake.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even think
What?
about Snake.
Of
I could
course,
see
Snake.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if I played that and I was maybe a little bit older, like 12, 13 when I was playing it, then I would.
He's a total
Probably.
badass.
Yeah. 6 is Cloud.
Ah,
See?
ding, 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 winner.
Does nothing for me.
God, I've never wanted to like the game.
Just looked at it, it's like, no.
5, Ezio Auditor de
Ezio, okay, he-
Assassin's
I mean,
Creed.
he's my
There's
boy
something
crush.
He's
cool
Italian.
about him. There's something cool
He's
about
very
It's not
Italian.
something.
I
It's
love it.
Italian. Like he just speaks
Yeah.
Italian. I think that just you win. Like you.
Maybe
gets-
that's why that's my favorite Assassin's Creed games, because of Ezio.
Yeah.
No
and he's
joke.
very suave. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
4 is I've never heard of this character before in my life. Cullen Rutherford from Dragon Age Inquisition.
I haven't played Dragon Age Inquisition. So.
I have, and it's been a long time.
Does nothing for me.
Okay.
3 is Jacob Taylor from Mass Effect 2. I didn't even consider that. I would even say male shepherd. I would say.
We definitely should have brought up Mass Effect. Just I
Yeah,
think
Mass Effect a
everybody
lot,
has a
yeah.
waifu in Mass Effect. That's like the point of the game, right?
I need to play that game.
I do too. I gotta try the Legendary Edition. Maybe I'll like it this time.
Jacob's not bad, but again, the abs thing does nothing for me. Two, I've never heard of this one either. Alistair Therian from Dragon Age Origins.
No.
I think I
There's like
actually
this
remember this
sultry
one.
look, like,
Hold on, let me.
I got nothing.
oh my god, the number one is a total joke of an answer. It's not even a real, like...
Is it Kirby?
It's Waluigi.
Yes, that is the
The
definitive
hottest.
answer.
Best video
character.
game husbandos.
I remember Alistair now. I don't see it. Why is it number 2? I don't.
I
get
don't
it.
know. I definitely would not put him. I would say some of the middle ones are better.
He has the personality that's very bright, very outgoing.
Nathan Drake from Uncharted. I'm looking
Oh,
at
of
another
course.
list now.
Of
Yes,
course.
he's up there.
That's
for
the
sure,
winner.
For sure. I think that's definitely hottest video game now.
That's
I like the
one.
new Lara Croft from the
Yes.
Tomb Raiders.
Yes.
That's a good one.
She's good. She is good. Yeah, some good ones.
Fun
Yeah.
question.
I like
yeah,
it.
I liked it. I
Cool
liked it. I'm
art.
glad that we derailed a little bit because that was good.
Liked it. So there you go. Everybody go. You've got all of your incognito search.
I mean, I'm sure there's fan fiction of all of them.
Oh, there's
no,
definitely.
there
is it
has to be.
Rule 34, right? Or is it 32? Was it?
It's some role.
One of
yes.
those, yeah. The internet
Yeah.
rule. Do the things.
Reddit.
All right, that's going to do it for us this week in Nintendo Shack. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation in the podcast as much as we did delivering to you. We'll catch you next week. It'll be just us boys.
Yeah.
Boys cast. Hopefully we'll have, I don't know, some games or some news or something.
I
I don't know what you're to do, Gary. I might need to find a guest.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be talking about Monster Hunter stories
I'm
too.
playing about Dying Light. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Catch you next week. Good night, Kooplings.
Bye-bye.